Vixen episode 2. Now this was definitely the action episode more than last episode. We actually got to see our main character get into her first real fight, sort of by accident, and we got to see that she has a clear transition from this episode to if I remember right, it's 3 days later, by the end of the series. And during that chase scene with Flash and Arrow, it was really different. She's switching and running and dodging. And in this, when she touches, the necklace, it's like she was taken over for a second. She was taken over by these different powers. And they kind of switched based on what she needed at the moment. And it was almost like the totem had a mind of its own because she kind of activated it, sort of just poof activation, gorilla mode, lion mode, and I didn't see the last one. I think it was just a bird, so she kind of flew, and that kind of answered my question a little bit from the last one. She jumped pretty far, and she just had her feet straight out and just knocked that guy straight down. But it was a really cool little, very miniature fight scene. She goes home, we get a little bit of a flashback, and it's just her when she's much younger and when she first finds out that she has this necklace after being orphaned as a young baby, and yet this is the one thing that ties her to her actual family, when she was given up for adoption. So depending on how things go, if they give us either the live action version of this character or we get a much longer version of the animated series, they're of course going to dive into that. So I'm excited for that. I'm sure we won't get it because if I remember right, we are only getting six 5-minute episodes to make a 30-minute piece. So I'm sure we aren't going to be diving too much into that, but at the same time, we might so other people can be familiar. I'm not that familiar with her character either, so it would help me as well. But I wouldn't mind if the story mainly focused on her being integrated into sort of the Flash and Arrow universe that they already have established. Because, like I mentioned last time, we already know this is going to be popular enough to get a live action version, whether it's in its own series or they just have her in a lot of episodes between Flash and Arrow. We know that she's going to be on there. If not, then that's going to blow my mind because I don't know how you could be watching Arrow and Flash and not, be connected to this. But at the same time, you probably wouldn't know that unless you're, someone like me who checks on stuff from like Comic-Con and things like that where you want to really see some of this other stuff that's coming out. So it might not be getting the same views because a lot of people might not know, but typically speaking, the viewership for those shows, more often than not, is just nerds like us. So I think most of the people watching Flash and Arrow are watching Vixen anyway, so I'm sure that'll be fine. So whatever they decide to do, especially with it being like 5-minute episodes, it's really hard to tell where they're going to be going with things as far as what stories they're really going to be telling or what story they can tell within just 30 minutes. But you can do a lot in one episode of a show, so I guess same thing kind of applies here. But it was a good one. It was a nice little action episode. We got to meet two characters that are fairly important in the DC universe, one of which was Duncan, who honestly I really only know from Young Justice. So when they said his name, I was like, oh, hey, there's Duncan. And I was hoping it would be the same voice actor because in my head I was like, if they have the same voice actor, it's the same universe. I don't know why. But they had Duncan in there, and then they have a woman at the end who I'm pretty sure is Killer Bee. Like, she's the only woman that I can really think of, and it's the perfect person to have because she's always in Africa and stuff whenever, like, even in Young Justice, that's kind of like her playground is Africa. That's kind of where she's set. So I'm pretty sure it's her. We only get like a little bit of her face, like, basically the bottom half. Just some earrings, some red lipstick, and some dark skin, and that's really it. And that's, all I have is Killer Bee as the person, or Queen Bee. I don't know. Killer Bee is from Naruto. Queen Bee. Sorry. So I'm pretty sure that's who it is. I don't know for sure. I could easily be wrong because it's a comic book world. It could be anybody, really, anyone black. But I'm pretty sure that's who it is. So we got Duncan in there. We got Queen Bee in there. They have a connection in this, which is fairly interesting because Duncan is typically considered like a good guy, but he's obviously working with someone who is okay with hiring people to at least fake rob somebody. I mean, well, the people being robbed aren't going to know that, but it was something. Like, it's a nice little nod. Of course, with it being 5 minutes, there's not much. It's all speculation. That's how the reviews can end up being longer than the episode itself. Me trying to speculate, but I definitely enjoyed it. It was nice to see her activate the totem for the first time, and it kind of just, she didn't know what to do, and then she ends up meeting Duncan, who, of course, with it being, whether it's animated or live action, it's just TV writing. Anyone you meet is already involved with whatever it is that you don't even know about yourself. If you don't know it, they already know it. So it's just like, of course, they end up meeting each other. But I'm excited. I like the second episode. Really excited to see the next one. I of course wish we could get longer episodes because I don't want this to be over, in 6 weeks, and every week is just 5 minutes. It makes me think of the show Ruby when that first started up. For anyone who might watch that, initially that first season, there were some episodes. There was one episode that was 4 minutes long. So I'm used to like just here it is and you're done and that's it. So still sucks, but the content is great. So I'm definitely enjoying it. Not much in this one, but it's only 5 minutes, so you can't have that much. But I did enjoy it, of course. I want to know what you guys thought about this episode. So please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, your least favorite parts out of whatever you can really choose from these couple of minutes. And I definitely want to know if you guys, what your speculations are as far as Duncan's connection to Queen Bee, if that is really her. And, of course, if you guys don't think that's her, I want to know who you guys do expect that to end up being. So please comment below, let me know. And thanks for watching.